everybody. I'm Hillary Atkin from the Atkin Report, and I'm so excited to welcome Cait Martin from The Voice to this edition of Hillary's Happy Hour. Cait, how are you doing?
I'm amazing. How are you doing, Hillary?
Well, I'm going to say the same, and so was your incredible rendition of Harry Styles as it was for your blind audition, which elicited one of the few four-chair turns of season 23. But Cait, what were you thinking as you were performing and you saw the coaches' reactions?
I was just hoping that anyone would turn a chair. And once Kelly turned around, because she turned around very quickly, once she turned around, it kind of a wave of calmness sort of passed over me. And I'm like, okay, now you can just perform the song. You don't have to worry about, you know, whether or not somebody's going to turn, whether or not you're going to go forward or not. And then they just kept turning. So I was like, so I was very excited. It's such a surreal and just like a humbling moment.
Well, as soon as you finished your performance and you began speaking with the coaches, everybody could hear your mom yelling, Kelly, Kelly. And Kelly, of course, heard it too. And then your mom also did this a second time. So,
She did.
talk to us about this, but how you yourself made the decision on which coach to go with. And was it something that you had already envisioned, or was it different in the moment?
Well, honestly, before we even get out there to NBC studios, we don't really know who the coaches are. And they ask us, if you could have any coach that's been in all of the seasons of The Voice, who would you want to be your coach? And I said, Kelly Clarkson. So getting there and actually saying that, okay, I have a chance to be mentored by someone whose career and voice I've just adored for all of these years is not only just an amazing opportunity, but something that I feel so deeply honored to have like made it, and that my voice was something that Kelly connected with and resonated with. So it's just been such a surreal moment having her as my coach.
Well, still though, talk to us about whether Niall was in the running because of your song choice of his bandmate Harry, especially after all of his compliments.
I mean, again, I had no idea that he was going to be a coach. So my first instinct was, wait, are they still on good terms? Are they friends right now? I was asking everyone, are they good? They're like, they're good. They love each other. I'm like, okay, amazing. So doing that at first, it was a little daunting because, what if they're like, oh my God, she's tearing up my friend's song. I hate this version of the song. So it was a little scary, but once he turned around and he complimented not just my singing ability, but how I was able to tell the story. And that was part of his pitch. It did have me thinking for a second, oh my goodness, am I going to forsake Kelly Clarkson and go with Niall for a moment here? But I think ultimately I could not defy my mother, and I had to go with my heart. So I went with Kelly.
Well, it was exciting for viewers to see that whole thing go down. And also, it was mentioned, you talked about this a little bit, that you've had a very successful career as a voiceover artist. So I would love to hear how that has contributed to your vocal talents as well.
Honestly, I got into voiceover during the pandemic. It's always been something that I've really wanted to explore, but we had a loss in the family, and then, you know, you couldn't do any live performing for a while. So it was just a lot of staying at home in our little grief bubble, me and my parents. And it took just teeny tiny baby steps, like, well, there's no better time than now to be able to get into this. So I started off doing a couple of podcasts, which led to me being able to do a video game, and I started singing again, and all the singing and the voiceover just kind of go hand in hand with me now. I love doing voiceover just as much as I love singing. Well, maybe not as much as I love singing. Singing is, comes from the soul, and it's come since I was a baby. But voiceover has also been like this really beautiful gift that I've been given in the last few years.
Well, tell us a little bit more about your musical background before The Voice.
Sure. I started singing when I was 2, singing along to Beauty and the Beast, but have always just loved music. My mom introduced me to so many different genres and types of music, and my dad introduced me to just like soul and jazz, which is why my voice is a weird combination of like Disney princess and jazz and all of these things. So I've always just sang wherever I felt like my voice was appreciated, whether that was in a musical, whether that was singing at weddings or in like big corporate bands, whether I was trying to write my own music and find my own voice. And as I performed more professionally, I steered more towards musical theater and guest entertaining on cruise lines and things like that, and kind of got away from my own style as an artist, which is something that my sister always wanted me to do. So getting this opportunity felt like the right time, and it was like the thing that was going to be all right. Either you're going to go forward as a singer or you're going to kind of figure out another pathway, maybe voiceover completely, So, right when I decided to step out on my own and make some decisions, I got the call to be on this show, and I think it was just divine timing.
Well, as you continue on your voice journey, what do you hope to learn from Kelly, and what have you already gotten from her?
Oh my goodness. Within the first 2 seconds of her turning around, I already got this validation that, wow, okay, you're good enough. You're meant to be doing what you're meant to be doing. If one of the greatest voices of our time heard it instantly, for sure. And then Niall, Chance, Blake, they're all so different. And to get that recognition from all of the coaches who had an appreciation for my voice in a different way made me feel like, okay, I this is something I really need to do going forward. So with Kelly, I've just been in awe of her career and what she's able to bring to each song, no matter what genre it is. And so from Kelly, I hope to continue learning about, how to adapt my voice into something that is great for everyone and how to make a career out of that.
I am so much looking forward to seeing you continue on this journey, Cait. And I also want to thank you so much for taking time out to be with me on Hillary's Happy Hour. Let's wrap it up with a toast to you and your continued success on The Voice.
Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers.